on. Can you start the movie? Oh, yeah, we could totally do that. Ugh. Hang on a second. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We're just getting ready to watch a movie together, but first, my popcorn needs help. It's kind of bland. So let's see, do I have anything here that might help it taste better? Ooh, here we go. Salt. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I love salt. I put it on all kinds of things, like popcorn, or French fries, or potatoes, or vegetables, or ooh, have you ever tried it on watermelon before? I know, that sounds really weird, but it's actually really good. You should try it. And I suppose I put it on sidewalks in the winter, but that's for an entirely different reason. Okay, this should be good. Perfect. Good old salt. You know what? That actually reminds me of today's lesson. Last week we started a brand new series all about the Sermon on the Mount, which is a big sermon that Jesus gave that we find in Matthew. We looked at the very first part at who Jesus says God sees as the most blessed. Do you remember what that section's called? The Beatitudes, exactly. Well, today we're just going to move right on to the next section where Jesus tells his people that they should be the salt and the light of the earth. Now, honestly, the light thing kind of makes sense to me. I mean, I've heard that before, but salt? Why would God want me to be salt? No one's ever told me I need to be saltier. So let's dive into it, and let's start with light. Jesus tells his disciples to be the light of the world. Now, I think we can all agree that light is pretty important, right? I mean, just think about it. Think about if every time the sun went down, we didn't have other sources of light. Just think of how awful nighttime would be, and how little we could do, and how hopeless we would feel. But thankfully, we do have other ways to have light. We have lamps and electricity and flashlights. In Jesus' time, they would have had fire and candles and oil lamps. So Jesus acknowledges how important light is. He even says, look, no one puts on a light and then covers it with a bucket.
Whoa, it sure is dark in here. I wonder what I should do about it.
Wait, I know. First, I get out my lamp, and then I plug it in, and then I turn on the lamp. Yay! And then I cover it with a garbage can. Hey, this didn't work very well. Little help? Yeah, we don't do that. That would be ridiculous. We need light. Light is important. And the great thing about light is light, even the littlest bit, drives out darkness. So when Jesus is saying we need to be the light of the world, what he's saying is we need to bring light or God's love and the joy and the hope that that brings into the dark. Darkness being sadness, sin, hopelessness. When we bring that light into the darkness, that darkness or hopelessness goes away. And that's what Jesus means by being the light of the world. So that explains light, but salt? We might need to speak to an expert about that.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Institute of Salt. I am Natalie Clausen, resident salt expert, here to give you a quick history lesson on this amazing substance. Now, the modern day refrigerator was invented in the early 1900s. It was an amazing advancement in technology. But that begs the question, without refrigerators, freezers, and plastic coolers, how did people throughout history, especially in warm climates, keep their food, especially meat, from spoiling and going bad? How did they keep meals from looking like this?
Children, come get your lunch. It's bread and rotten meat again. Oh, stop complaining. I took out the green bits.
Oh, wait, before you do that, try this. It's salt.
What do I do with it?
Oh, you sprinkle it on your food. Not only does it make it taste better, but it draws out the moisture and preserves the food. It keeps it from spoiling.
Oh! Wow! Thanks, salt!
Another satisfied customer. People learned that you could use salt to preserve food, to dry it out and keep it from decaying. So if it could make food taste better and it could keep it from going bad, you can imagine how important salt was all throughout history. In fact, the ancient Romans used to pay people with salt. That's where we get the word salary. And in medieval Europe, some countries would sell salt by the grain, by each tiny little speck. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are auctioning off this tiara that includes 10 very rare diamonds. Let's start the bidding now. Well, I have 5,000 gold pieces. Well, I have 500,000 pieces of gold. Well, I have 5 grains of salt. Oh my! Sold! Sold! Oh. I'm rich! Oh! Now, that may be a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's still true. Salt was extremely important and extremely valuable all throughout history. And it turns out it was also important in the Bible. Now, since it could preserve things and keep them from decaying and, in a sense, draw out the bad, it became known in the Old Testament as a symbol of purity. People used to sprinkle it on the altar before they gave their offerings to God, and there's even a verse in Ezekiel about rubbing newborn babies down with salt. Now, I cannot condone that practice until I do more research, but it just shows you what salt meant to the people of the Bible. So when Jesus is telling us to be the salt of the earth, what he's probably saying is we need to be people that preserve the good and work against the bad. And that's it for my quick history lesson. Thank you so much for joining me. Come visit me at the Institute of Salt anytime. I'm like, seriously, anytime. I don't get a lot of visitors here, so just whenever. Bye. Thanks, Natalie. I'll make sure to come visit you soon. Ish. So we've learned today that we need to be light and salt. Light meaning we need to drive out the darkness or the hopelessness with the light of God's love. And salt meaning we need to work to preserve the good and work against the bad. Now, an easy way to think of that is God wants us to bring good things to others. God doesn't want us to just be people that hang out and do nothing. He wants us to be actively working to change the world. Another way to think of it is this. So one time I was moving out of an apartment and my mother came to help me clean the old apartment, the apartment I was moving out of, and she just went crazy. I mean, she was washing the walls, she was moving appliances so she could clean the floor underneath, and I kept telling her, Mom, you don't have to do that. They're gonna have other people come in and do it for us. And she kept saying, no, I always like to leave things better than how I found them. And that has really stuck with me because I know she was talking about my apartment, but what if we lived like that every single day? What if everywhere we went and whoever we talked to, we always tried to leave things better than how we found them? I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be a great way to be salt and light to the earth, don't you? So as a family, read Matthew 5 verses 13 through 16. It's a short one this week. And talk as a family. How can you guys be salt and light every single day? And now that brings us to a very exciting announcement, but first I need to check in on my crew. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Thanks for the popcorn. I think it'd be really funny if you told us to be cinnamon. I'm okay.
Whoops. Oh, no, don't eat off the floor. Moving on, it's now time to find out who our very first verse challenge winner is. So, meet me over by Yoda's head.
All right, people, let me remind you how this works. Now, every single week, we're gonna have a brand new memory verse. Your job is to memorize that verse and then have someone take a video of you saying it and be as creative as you want. Then have your parents post the video to FCC Parents Group on Facebook. Everyone that posts a video is gonna have their name written down on a piece of paper, and that paper is gonna go into Yoda's head. Then every single week, I'm gonna draw a name, and that person's gonna win a gift card to Zalty's Ice Cream here in town. So, shall we see who our very first verse challenge winner is? All right, here we go. And our very first winner is Julia M. Great job, Julia. We'll be sending you your gift card. And great job to everyone else who posted a video. They were awesome. Your next verse is Matthew 5, verses 16. And it's a good one, so check it out. Then get to work and get creative. And be sure to check in Wednesday for our Leader Spotlight, where we talk to Kevin Anderson. That's right, Mr. Kevin himself. I love you guys, and remember, until we meet here, keeping the church and the salt and the light there. I'll see you guys next time.